We discovered some senatorial districts in this particular document have up to 120 billion. And my senatorial district has just 2 billion.
Viewers and subscribers, welcome once again to Think Tank TV. Now, recall that different media houses have reported the alleged budget padding in the National Assembly of the Senate, which was exposed by Senator Ningi. Now, from my findings, the truth of the matter is that the postulations and the exposure of Senator Ningi were obviously unfounded, even though it has a lot of advantage as it has unveiled some of the shenanigans of the National Assembly. Today, I'd like us to take a look at an interview that was done by Dr. Reuben Abati, Rufai Useni, and Ayo of Arise News, where they grilled Senator Abaribe, senator representing Abia State, on the facts surrounding that budget padding. I'd like you to take a look at it and get the full details for yourself so that you'll not be left in the dark. Please do want to drop your comments in the comment section. Let's get to know what you think about this grilling and the information that Senator Abaribe gave. I shall continue to be here to serve you. Like we say, if you know that you have a product or a service, kindly do well to hit the email address showing on your screen, and we shall put it out for everyone to see. Take a look.
Well, Senator, what are we dealing with here with Senator Ningi's suspension? Some people say it's a cover-up. Some people say there are moral issues to be addressed. Some people insist that, in fact, they are shocked, scandalized that ranking senators collected 500 million naira. And you are a ranking senator. You've been in that Senate since is it 2007. Please let us know. Did you also collect 500 million naira, and for what?
Senator Ningi gave an interview, and that interview was amplified in ways that wasn't exactly what he intended. And Senator Lamileko, on raising a point of order on the matter, as chairman of appropriation, and gave a succinct detail about whatever Ningi felt he didn't have the full details about, and that is there was about 3.7 billion or about 3 billion, not billion, 3 trillion. And when Olamileko showed that these were for the statutory transfers to agencies of government that do not come inside the budget, which amounted to exactly that same amount, I felt personally that that should have been where the matter ought to have ended. And then we probably will caution Ningi and the matter. And also, Ningi was given a chance to walk back from his assertion. Because he said that he was given a document which he commissioned by an outside consultant. Most likely, that consultant didn't have the full awareness of how details the budget is supposed to be. And at that point, we had all tried to talk to Ningi and said, well, just apologize and then let's leave this matter. But maybe in trying to continue to insist on what he said, which had now been proven to be not correct, he went ahead to now raise up other issues, and it is in all that whole thing that I would say reason now took flight.
Ranking Senator Dr. Abati had asked you the question, just to clarify, the 500 million naira that Senator Abaribe had mentioned that was given to ranking senators for constituency projects. Did you get that 500 million naira? And what was can you clarify what the use or what the purpose of that money was for?
I never got 500 million. I think Jariwe tried to clarify his statement. And he came back subsequently to say, no, Ningi told me I was given and all that kind of, and he didn't get. He's also a ranking senator. So I think that at the end of the day, what you see really is that, well, I'm an Abga senator, and I'm the only Abga senator in the Senate. Maybe being a minority of a minority, they didn't consider me worthy of being given.
Senator, you know, I like your...
Well,
hang on a minute. I like your philosophical Igbo adages, and I was ready for you as regards those Igbo adages this morning. That there's an Igbo adage that says that if the snake does not show its venom, little children will use it to tie firewood. And that's the truth of what is happening between the government and the people. So that's why we are just here to be able to settle this. Number one, I deliberately was playing devil's advocate to ask that, why should even Ningi be made to apologize in the first place? Because he brought out something that it was your fact against mine. Yes, Senator Olamileko talked about the overriding issue, which we had all talked about here, that there was a discrepancy, that the budget was 28, there was no 2 budget cycles and all of that. But there were other substantive matters Ningi was talking about as regards the skewed nature of the budget to some constituents over the other. Also the fact that, padding, duplication, we've been able to highlight some. Padding also means when frivolous things are added to be able to make something more rounded. Take, for instance, the money I mark for traditional rulers and all of that, other duplication and things like that, which are the substantive matter in the budget, which we felt we should have looked at that Ningi's document to be able to scrutinize. Hence that first question. Second question now, you've been able to clarify, and why was Abaribe shut down when he talked about the 500 million? We know it went to constituency projects. All right? Why were some giving over the others? Because this is the same Senate, that the same Senate president was saying that was caught on microphone, that we're going to send prayers to your accounts. I don't know if you received those prayers too. Maybe you can tell us about those prayers too. So it is these discrepancies a lot of people ask. I don't know if you want to unbundle all of this for us and give some clarity.
Yes, let me attempt to give some clarity. And what you say, we start from first base. People do not like, and people already have a resentment against both the Senate and the government. And that is understandable because things are difficult. And some of us have been screaming and shouting and saying, can we deal with the substantive issue? And I have also tried to clarify, to say that all fingers are not equal, and that by privilege of office, certain people will get, and normally do get. Not every senator gets an equal amount. And I will just give you an instance. Every zone, there are 6 zones in the country, every zone gets for each zonal intervention 10 billion. Now, if you're from the Northwest zone, because you have 7 states, necessarily a senator will get less than me, who come from 5-state zone. Now, because it's 10 billion for each person equally, I get, my state, Abia, gets 2 billion. And if we now break it up into both the Senate and the House, the Senate getting 40% and the House getting 60%, I get about 266 million as a constituency, zonal intervention. The person in Northwest had that 7 states necessarily gets less, about 100 and something. So you will see that ab initio, things are not equal. So it doesn't make sense for us when we want to make analysis to say every constituency must get an equal amount. So when you are a Senate president, when you're a deputy Senate president, when you're a Senate leader, and when you're and all that, necessarily, because of your office, you get a little more than your colleagues. But this is not what you complain about. what you're talking about is that you look at this in the budget, you see duplications. And what we say is that we have mechanisms to correct these things. If the mechanisms are there, you should use those mechanisms, not to go and incite the public against the Senate on that basis. That is just what we're saying. Every budget has a corrigendum. In other words, even if you don't catch it at the point at which we are doing debate, because at the point we do debate, you're supposed to look into the budget and you're supposed to come out and say, hey, I saw A here, and I saw A again here. It shouldn't be. And everyone will say, okay, how do we correct it? If you don't catch it at that time and the budget is passed and you come back, you now come and say, oh, I have seen these small things. That is at the point at which Senator Ningi went to see the Senate president to say, I have seen a few things. He said, okay, fine, bring me the details. Then we could see how we could correct it. I think what caused this whole brouhaha is the fact that rather than do the details and rather than our taking it in-house, there was a press conference made on BBC. We tended to show everybody in a bad light. That's just the point. And I want you to understand it as that.
You've seen it for yourself. Now, like I said, one of the advantages we got from the exposure of Senator Ningi, who is the chairman of the Senators Forum, is that the constituency project fund that is normally shared among the senators is shared by virtue of the size of their constituencies. And like you heard from Senator Abaribe, the reason why some of the senators get more constituency projects and some do not is simply because the sizes of their constituencies differs. Even though I have a pointer to make about this release of fund, I think that the Nigerian government should ensure that this fund that is released is publicized for the Nigerian people to see. Because like they say, this is a constituency project, and Senator Abaribe says this money is not given to them as cash. What about the situation where this money is released and some of the National Assembly members do not go to their constituency to execute the so-called project? What actually happened to the money? Because like Senator Abaribe claimed, he said that the money is normally sent to the projects. That's like the contractors that's going to be handling the project. How come that sometimes some of the projects that is cited in some of the constituencies is not released? The constituency projects must be displayed for the Nigerian people to see, because after all, the funds that is being released to the National Assembly members is funds that belong to the Nigerian people. And how can you say release funds to a people and you cannot put it out for everyone to see on a national dailies that so constituency has received so money via their National Assembly? That's if they must do it through the National Assembly members who are representing them in different constituencies. Here's my take on it. So I think that it's a recommendation that must be made for the Nigerian government to look at and ensure that it is actioned. Many thanks indeed to all our viewers and returning subscribers. We really do not take it lightly. My name again is Moses, and this is Think Tank TV. Please do not intentionally hit the like button and drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let's get to know what you think about the current shenanigans in the National Assembly. I shall continually be here to serve you. See you all on the next video. Bye for now.